Welcome to the Chairlift, where we talk all things snowboarding. Today, we're going to talk to Julie Rebaudo from the winter ride camps for adult riders. If you're an adult snowboarder just getting into it, or you want to up your game, you're going to want to go to the Alps and check out this adult snowboard camp. And you can find a link to these camps in the show notes. Not just that, but after I spoke to Julie, we realized how much more affordable riding in the Alps is. We were comparing lift ticket prices to North America, and riding the Alps was less than half the price of a day ticket for somewhere like Whistler or Vail or any of the major ski and snowboard resorts in North America. So not only that, but by going to the Alps, you are probably going to get the most beautiful scenery in snowboarding that you can get. So join me for this conversation with Julie on the winter ride camps. Hi, Julie. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. And you?
I'm good. We went riding this weekend. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, I'm very happy and thank you for having me.
Great. You're going to talk to us a little bit about learning to snowboard as an adult, which is special because it's very different from learning as a teenager or as a child. And I know you learned as an adult. So tell me about your experience learning snowboarding as an adult.
It was difficult. I started learning, I was about 23. And the thing is, I wasn't a rider of anything. So I really started from scratch. And it was also difficult for me because I was scared of the steepness. I was scared of the speed. I didn't know how to take a chairlift, a drag lift, anything. So I was really starting from far away.
Okay, so that's a lot of fears that you have to conquer, but what made you decide to pick up snowboarding later in life?
I was traveling a lot at the time, all my 20s, and I had just spent a few years around the surf culture. And I don't really know, like at the beginning I had ideas like that, like, oh, I want to go live on an island for 6 months, or, oh, I want to go work for winter seasons. So that's what I did. And I had tried ski with friends, like when I was 16 once, but I didn't have money or anything. So I went by myself. They didn't want to spend time with me to show me or anything, and it was so difficult that I ended walking down the slopes with the ski on my shoulders, and I went back to the rental shop, gave back the ski and said never again. So then I was like, I guess with the surf and everything, I like how the snowboard style riding down the slopes. I thought it was very nice. So I felt maybe it was less overwhelming and less scary to have only one snowboard to learn rather than two skis and two poles to care about.
Okay, so the ease of access or like the non-complicated factor of just one snowboard was appealing to you as an adult beginner. And I want to know, because I learned surfing as an adult. Did you learn surfing as an adult as well?
Yes, I started learning surfing, I guess, after snowboard, maybe 1 or 2 years after. But same, I'm scared of big waves. So I was okay in small waves, but then I realized like the complication to actually surf because the weather must be there, the conditions, everything. It's not my thing. So I just stick to snowboarding.
Okay. And I'm curious to know, do you think surfing or snowboarding is harder to learn as an adult?
I would say a bit of both, because surfing is very difficult, as you also have to learn to read the waves and to position yourself, and that the spots are all different. But it's less scary at the beginning because when you fall into the water. So as an adult, your mind don't stress you out too much. Rather than on snowboard, we think more, I think, as an adult, and it might scares us a bit more at the beginning. But I don't think it's more complicated to learn snowboard.
Okay, so it sounds like, yeah, the consequences of snowboarding are higher because you're falling on the hard ground and you can really pick up speed quite easily.
Yes.
And there's the chairlift.
Yes.
So, all those challenges, how did you overcome them learning as an adult?
Well, I was lucky because I went to work in a ski resort for winter season, and over there was a guy I was working with, and he told me, "What do you want to do this season?" And I told him I want to learn snowboard, and he was a snowboarder. So he told me, "Okay, so if you want to learn snowboard, but during the season we work a lot, meet me tomorrow at 7 and I give you a lesson." And this guy became my boyfriend. And 12 years later, we're still together. And he taught me how to snowboard, but I guess I overcome it because he was there for me all the time. He gave me his hands all the time. And so in the scariest parts of the steepness and stuff, he was there for me.
So, yeah, you had a partner in crime to
Yes.
really exactly hold your hand and conquer those fears. That is awesome. And I can see then that your partner's passion is really coming out because you and him have founded a snowboard camp
Yes.
specifically for adults. And that's located in the Alps in Les Portes du Soleil. Now, I really want to go. I've never been there.
Yes, I really want to welcome you here. It would be so nice.
So I've got 2 trips on my bucket list. I've got the Alps and Japan. Me, the husband, and the kids need to save up to do it. But how about you tell me what inspired you to create this camp specifically for adult snowboarders?
Well, I think the story is a bit long. I will try to summarize.
Okay.
Because many things inspired me to create this camp for adults. So, as we talk about, most of the things I decided to learn, I was already an adult. And there at the beginning, I was very young, like 23, but then time passes on, and now I'm 36 and still learning new things. And about 4 years ago, I started learning longboard dancing, which is on a skateboard. And I really liked it. And I discovered that there was communities of longboard dancing a bit around the world in big cities. And these communities, it was like going riding together, but it doesn't matter the age of the background. It's only the passions that is shared, and it matters. And I really like that. I felt in those communities like welcomed. I felt kindness and like a safe space. We don't ask how old are you, what do you do in life. It's just like, hey, are you a longboard dancer? When did you start? What do you want to learn? And people were exchanging tips to help improving. It was super nice. And then I went to a longboard camp in Portugal. It's created by Valeria, a longboard dancer. And there I experienced the community times 100 because it's a week very full of everything. You grow on your skills, that's for sure, because that's what you go there for. But it really gives you a boost of confidence, and you bond with other person of the group as well very deeply. So it's a growth of multi-layers. And then I started to have more and more longboard dancers friends because they were riders. They got interested in snowboard as well. Because I was living in a ski resort, because I lived there for 12 years now, they started asking me questions. So how do you do this and that, and how to start and where to go and how does it work? And I know because I've been through it that learning snowboarding from zero is very challenging and overwhelming. And especially the place I live in is such a big resort. We haven't talked about it yet, but probably we will, that you don't know really where to go and how to start. So then I felt inspired to create the snowboard camp. And I know also that when I want to learn something and I try to look for programs, most of the things I found is designed for kids. I really wanted to make this camp into, I don't know if you say it in English, but my image, what I wish I would have found, and yeah, experiment to learn as an adult.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, because definitely a lot of the programming out there that are group programs are catered for kids or teenagers that are just learning. And there's very few adult focused programs, especially in the camp style. You'll get, a single private lesson with an instructor, but I think the camp will really foster that sense of community, but also that sense of, you're not alone in learning.
Yes, exactly.
And when you're alone as an adult learning something new, it's very intimidating and it tends to drive people away. While building that group, that sense of group, that sense of overcoming struggles together, I think is very, very powerful.
Yes,
So
and I feel that there are like, I know I have the feedback that there is many adults that want to start learning snowboarding from scratch, and there is more than people think. So they think they're alone, but in fact they're not. So I really hope that they will realize that with the camp.
and it is intimidating. So say I'm an adult that has never snowboarded. I am, however, afraid that when I sign up to this camp, there's going to be other snowboarders that are more skilled than I am. What would you tell someone?
We adapt the camp to the level of the participant, and also I have two camp level. So I have one intermediate and one beginner, especially because also I had feedbacks of people that knew already how to go down the slopes and wanted to improve their skills. So I designed an edition especially for that. So there's no need to be scared. We will really start where people are. And if they're at zero, then we'll start from zero. It's fine.
Awesome. So how is this camp different from, say, like a regular one-on-one instruction?
Well, the community is a big part of it. So they will find a supportive environment. They will bond with people that have the same passion or interest and the same fears. So that's the biggest thing. And also the camp is not only about snowboards. It's also about my passion for the territory and the area. And I really gathered all the special things I like there to share with them. So they will live a full experience of the winter mountain.
Okay, so take me through then. I sign up to your camp. Take me through what happens throughout the day and, like, is there a schedule? What happens even after snowboarding?
Yes. So there is kind of a schedule. So we all know where we're going, but it can adapt from what the participant will like. So basically on the first day, we all meet together for the beginner camp. They will pick up their gear, and then we will gather present ourselves to one another and see also what they want to learn for the week. And then we have dinner. Every morning there will be lessons, 3-hour lesson with an instructor. And afterwards they have some free time. So I designed this to adapt to every participant's energy level. So they can either ride by themselves if they want to practice more. They can eat and rest at the terrace on the slopes because the scenery is beautiful if they want to hang out. Or they can also go back down into the village and have some time to rest or have some time to go around. With this camp, they also have access to the sports center. So there is a swimming pool, climbing wall, ice skating, and fitness area. So if they want more sport, they can, but it's they can choose. And in the evening, we'll have the dinner all together. There are two special dinners, so I don't want to spoil the surprise. And we also have one video coaching analysis. We will record the movement of the participants and we'll go through that. I feel when you see yourself in video, you improve a lot more because you can correct your placement of the body. Sometimes you think you are doing one movement, but in fact your body is a bit different than when you think. So this is part of the program and I feel it's very helpful to progress. And then we are here all the time with my partner to help answer questions, maybe also explain how to read a map, because I remember on my first years, if people show me a way, I couldn't go another way because I didn't know how by myself. So things like that, yeah.
So tell me about Les Portes du Soleil, because I
Yes.
feel like there may be some people that are thinking, why should I go there?
So the camp is actually in Champéry, one of the 12 resorts of Les Portes du Soleil, and it's in Switzerland. Les Portes du Soleil is a ski domain that is half in France and half in Switzerland. So you can ski or snowboard during the day, crossing over two countries. So that's already amazing. There is about 600 kilometers of slopes, and myself, after 12 years, I haven't ridden all of them. And the scenery is very beautiful. You have Les Dents du Midi, which I think is my favorite mountain chain. When you arrive in Champéry, first of all, I love that it is accessible by train. I come from France, where I grew up. You have to drive for 2 hours in small mountain roads with lots of turns to get to a resort. And in Switzerland, in Champéry, you can arrive by train. It's amazing. And you are in the village. The village is very authentic. There are residents all year round, so it's a real life. And you have this mountain chain that is very special and impressive. When you come from Lac Léman, the Les Dents du Midi is the beginning of the Alps. And Champéry, the village is 1,000 meter high, and Les Dents du Midi peak rise up to 3,000 meter high. You have in front of you a wall of mountain of 2,000 meter high. It's very impressive. It's very beautiful. It's a very special feeling.
And for our American friends, 2,000 meters is about 6,000 feet of elevation. Yeah. So that's, it must be stunning. Now, I've got a question because I feel like there may be quite a few people out there that are hardcore snowboarders, but they've got a friend that's never gone snowboarding that would want to join the camp. But, you know, the more advanced riders might want to just go shred the Alps. Tell us, what are the conditions like, you know, in early to mid-March in the Alps? Is there a lot of powder? Are there a lot of terrain parks? Tell us about what we can access.
So there are several snow parks in Les Portes du Soleil domain. There is one on the Swiss side, and I don't know how many on the French side. There are a lot, actually. The thing which is awesome in March, and that's actually the program of my intermediate camp, is that there is a festival of music on the slopes, which is called Rock the Piste. So every day there is a concert in a different location of the domain, which is a cool way to discover the domain. And for me, I think March is the best time to have fun snowboarding. I really love that type of snow because it's soft. So it's more forgiving when you want to learn new tricks or just learn how to ride. It's just fun. And about the powder, it's very difficult to know these days because the winters are changing. Sometimes it's warmer in February than in March. It's really unexpected, so I can't really say. But also it depends where in the Alps. So Les Portes du Soleil is not the highest ski resort, but it's high enough and there will be snow to ride everywhere and snow parks to have fun. Also, you can do what I call snow safari. You can ride all day, not using the same slopes twice. So that's amazing.
That does sound, it makes me think of some of the bigger resorts out west here in North America, like Whistler. I spent quite a bit of time there, and I think I could every day do different runs and never do all the runs, even after many seasons of riding that mountain. Back to teaching adults how to snowboard. What do you think are the biggest barriers that prevent adults from learning to snowboard?
I think the biggest barrier is thinking that age is an issue. So for me, it's important to adapt to every participant pace. So to be there for them and to create a supportive group so they can realize that age doesn't matter, but they can take the time. Also, what I found with all the passion I tried, like longboard dancing or snowboarding, is that sometimes you're like scared to start because with the society we live in, we always look up to athletes, but you don't have to have the level of an athlete to have fun. And actually, that's how I practice all my sports or activities. And I'm not super good at anything, but I manage at everything. And I'm just having fun, and I like life like that.
Yeah, I completely understand. I'm not getting any younger. So I'm just regressing in the snowboarding rather than progressing.
But I feel when you go through life, you don't want the same thing in different ages. That's fine also to chill, just to snow safari or to just enjoy your time.
That's just it. There's, you don't need to be the best at everything. And when you're young, you think about that a lot, about being the best at something or, excelling. But there's something to be said about just enjoying time on Earth and doing the things you love with the people that you love and fostering new relationships and making new friends too, which is super important. And I think
sharing memories, yeah. And like some of my close friends come from the longboard dancing camp. So we just spent 1 week together and then we kept seeing each other. It's like special moments.
And exploring too, right? Like when you go to a camp somewhere else, you're experiencing a new location as well, which just, it's like living your life to the fullest. You're not just going to the same old resort with the same old people. You're like meeting new people and seeing new places, experiencing something different.
Exactly. And also I was traveling a lot all my 20s. And what I loved about it is that I was traveling by myself and I would arrive somewhere, but nobody knows me from where I am from. So I get to be the person who I want to be. There is no judgment already from anyone. So it's a great place and time to just discover who you want to be as well.
Yes, I had a question that came up in my mind. What is the average age of your campers? And what if I'm like way above that average age or way younger than the average age?
The camp is open to any adults, so there is no age limit. And that's important to me because I want everyone to feel comfortable. And so far, the participants are between 23 and I think the oldest 37 or something like that. So, yeah.
What if I'm 50?
And what if you're 50? There's no problem. You come for the same passion I'm 36. My partner is like 45, so that's closer. I'm confident that we cover different ages so everyone can feel comfortable, and I will make sure that everyone feels comfortable.
Great. And you know what? I think depending on your personality, there's some pretty cool like mid 20, mid 30-year-olds out there. I like to skateboard as well, but I'm not very good at it. And I like to ride mini ramp. One thing that I find is really difficult is getting out of my head and preventing myself from or stopping myself from not trying something because I'm scared. My head has a self-preservation mode. How do you think you can get adults to just go for it?
So that's how I wanted to build the camp. For me, it's exactly what my partner did for me. Being here and hold my hands, he's very passionate about teaching snowboarding. And to person that never snowboard before, he loves it. And so we have the instructor and we will be here as well to assist for sure. So if one person is struggling, we will find ways to unstress the person. Whatever happens in their mind, we just go through it, talk about it, and find a way so to feel the movement of the ride in a safe way. So holding hands is one way to do it. So the body will experiment the movements, and the mind we realize is not that big of a deal. I hope I've been clear.
No, that's great. So you've got the snowboard camp. I know that you also do photography and you promote Les Portes du Soleil and the local area where you work. Do you have any plans to expand the camp or expand what you're doing in the future?
Yes, my partner and I work together doing photos and videos for the communication of the ski resort. So we have different clients, and we've been working on this area for more than 10 years. That's why we know it very well, and we are so passionate about it. And about the expansion of the camp, so this year is the first edition for me. I've been working on it for 2 years to launch it. There is one edition for beginner and one edition for intermediates. And the first step for me will be to gather feedbacks of the participants and implement for next year. So that will be the first. And then if I have very high demands, adding dates, that will be the second part, I guess. But we'll see, because I like to do it on lower season time, like January or March. But I think March is really the best to learn snowboard. So for now, it's a very exclusive, limited edition.
Okay, perfect. Now, I was wondering, what do you hope to see? Like, this is great to open up snowboarding so that it's, not an exclusive club of 17-year-olds that are able to do double corks or triple corks off a 50-foot jump. Well,
Yes.
what do you hope to see in snowboarding that would increase inclusivity and accessibility for adults?
So for me, learning snowboard was a bit complicated. Beside my boyfriend, I was riding on my own mostly because I didn't have the level of other riders and they never want to wait for me. Yeah, I guess I didn't feel that comfortable at the beginning also because you have this image of the group of mostly men and some girls like riding so well. They are so cool, jumping in the parks, and this is not your world. So you feel you will be judged. That's what I experimented. And that's how I want to open the snowboard with the camps for other environment, for beginners, for people that don't know how to ride but have friends to go with their level. And I guess maybe events that will be less competitive, more all level riders friendly and welcoming will be maybe something to see in the future. So all the levels can gather. That's what I like with the longboard dancing, because for longboard dancing, you have one spot and all riders can ride on the same spot because we only need something flat and long. So you can be total beginner and an athlete practicing at the same time on the same spot, which is really awesome. Obviously on snowboard, it's not as easy to do this because of the shape of the slopes. I don't know exactly how, but it would be cool to think of an event where all level riders can gather and then build a community like that.
Hmm. You know, it's interesting because I know not everyone is skilled to go off jumps and do rails, but I know a lot of the beginner parks, terrain parks, are often good. Like you'll see some really good riders riding right beside someone that has never really hit a box or a rail. And sometimes something like really simple, like a flat rail or a flat box, you can have a really advanced rider doing some really technical tricks on it while, you know, a snowboarder that's never hit the park before can also try that same feature.
That's awesome. And that's why I wanted to create the intermediate camp, because like myself, been riding for 10 years, but I don't do any freestyle or tricks yet. And I want to learn how to jump. So this is my phase. Like I'm in this part, like wanted to try how to jump. And also I was thinking, well, hey, when you know how to snowboard, but you are like just at the like beginner intermediates, how do you
Like go to the next level, right?
exactly? So that's why I created the intermediate. There is a one initiation in the snow park. So yeah, if you never been, then it will be your first time. You will be with a group, with an instructor, and then you have the tools to go back yourself. That's really what I wanted. Yeah.
Awesome. No, I love the idea. I love the idea of both the beginner and the intermediate. The intermediate, I could see, so many different riding because once you get over that beginner hump, it opens up so many areas where you can really upgrade your skills, whether that's riding between the trees and the glades or riding big powder or even like, in the park. There's many different areas where you can excel. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few rapid fire questions for you, Julie.
Yeah.
And I know you said that you're not a park rider, but what's your favorite snowboard trick?
Yeah, I don't know any tricks yet, but I want to learn how to jump. And I would love to learn, I think it's called buttering, because for me, it feels like dancing. So
Oh
I
my
really
gosh.
like that.
Okay, there's an Instagram profile called Buttermaster.
Oh, nice.
Okay, you need to follow them because that is all that they do is show like different butter tricks.
I will check it out right after.
If you could only ride one mountain for the rest of your life, where would that be?
Well, I guess I have to say Les Portes du Soleil. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go there now.
I'm really waiting for you here.
Well, yeah, we'll have to save up our money. We spend all of our money just traveling around North America or East North America right now, but it's not the greatest place to snowboard. We'll have to go to the Alps where it's a little bit better, I think. What's the most memorable moment of, your time snowboarding?
I think for me, I love the place and the landscape that the snowboards allow me to see, because you can get around the mountains so fast and so easily, and you have access to like breathtaking views, and every time it's just a special feeling like wow. So I think that's what I really remember, and like this is very strong for me.
There is something really breathtaking about the Alps. I mean, I know I've never been there, but I keep hearing that the view is unmatched. So great answer. If
Especially
you
that
could,
I hike a lot in the summer as well, and it's so slow to get places and to get to the view that a snowboard just feels just so easy and magical.
it is, yeah, and you get to see all the mountaintops from
Yeah.
different vantage points. And it sounds like over there, you don't just have one mountain, it's like a range of mountains. Yeah.
And sometimes, depending on how the resort is, you can feel like a bit out of reach, like a bit so far away around the mountains that there is nothing else. Yeah, it's very
Oh,
pretty.
I've got a question about riding the Alps. Like, can you accidentally end up somewhere at the end of the day and realize, oh my gosh, I can't get back to where I'm supposed to be because you're so far?
So actually, it happens. The wind starts to pick up during the day, and they have to close some ski lifts. So it happens that people get stuck on the other village. And because you have to drive all around the mountain, some people just stay and sleep over there and come back the next day.
That won't happen to us. If you could give one piece of advice to someone who's just starting out, what would it be?
I would say don't try to learn alone if you're struggling. And then just have fun and smile.
Julie, let's raise the bar. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I was like very happy to share the area and to exchange with you.
Shred on, girl.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Julie Rebaudo from the Winter Ride Camps. If you are interested in the camps, you can check out their website, evoq-experience.com/the-winter-ride-camps. Know that I'm definitely checking out flights and passes to go ride the Alps, and potentially even sign up to the intermediate camp. If you enjoyed the show, I would really appreciate a 5-star rating and a beautiful review. It makes a world of a difference to keep us in the air. Thank you so much again for listening. Shred on and raise the bar.